Hello guys, this is Dileep Nigam here, CEO of SimpliExcel Training International and certified John Maxwell coach. And I'm extremely excited today because I have the honor and privilege of having with me Mr. Dinesh Verma, the founder and chairman of a company called V2U Healthcare PT Limited Singapore. Now this company is extremely successful, extremely flourishing in the Singapore region. It's a regional company with operations in Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, and Vietnam. Now, Mr. Verma has been, it's such an accomplished company that it has won numerous awards in the past couple of years. Just to name a few, it has won Asia's 100 Leading Brand Award, Singapore Indian Business Leaders Award 2016, SME 500, DBS Award for winning, winners of upcoming entrepreneur category, and also the latest in the feather in the cap has been Singapore Prestige Brand Award 2018 for a second time. And this is the only company that has won those awards. So these are just a couple of awards, okay? So I really feel honored. This company, V2U Healthcare, is in the business of physiotherapy and rehabilitation products and clinical services. So without much further ado, I would like to invite Mr. Verma on the call, and it's my privilege and honor to have him. And I'm sure his success journey and story is going to influence and motivate many, many people for times to come. So thank you, Mr. Verma, for taking out time for me. I really appreciate and feel honored to have you on my call. So welcome.
Hello, Mr. Dileep Nigamji. Thank you very much for inviting me to your show here and giving me an opportunity to share my journey with you and your friends. It will indeed my pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So to start with, Mr. Verma, I would like to talk about, the childhood, early childhood, especially the teenage years of the people have a huge impact on people's success journey subsequently. So I understand that at the age of 17, you even started a drama company, but you never pursued that, right? So would you like to share a little bit with the audience about your early phase of the teenage phase of your career life?
Well, I think everybody has a natural instinct, and I think my natural passion was very much into arts, theater, dramatics, and events. Yeah, so I used to regularly participate with school activities, dramas, and all. And very young age, high school level, I started a music group company, literally doing commercial level of event management, or what you call, if you have a birthday party or engagement or even wedding parties, to be able to provide full scope orchestra and entertainment. And I used to do program hosting and compiling the whole band together, music players, singers and entertainers and so on. When I reflect back today, I think I can't believe myself I did that at age of 17 when I'm doing high school.
Yep.
And we did very professional level. So that was my rooted interest. But those days, typically, it was very hard to get the family support. A typical career path for a child in a family has to be medicine or engineering and so on, and stage and drama and media was not that established in India. We only had one national channel and very few opportunities. And I don't think I really got much encouragement to pursue my career in that. And slowly I had to stream off from there for long-term prospects.
I can understand. Yeah, but you did have a lot of entrepreneurial skills and thought process at that age also.
Absolutely, I would say. I mean, I always like to do things differently. That's been my life as about. When I was in high school, also during the summer vacation, I will take opportunity, do summer jobs, experience something, and doing this kind of entertainment thing was also sidelined while I'm studying. So that's always been in my blood.
Wow, that's awesome. Now, you would agree that environment of the family, and that helps a lot, or rather has a huge impact on the upbringing of a child from teenage period to the adulthood. Now, in what way you felt your family environment and your family's background helped you accomplish and move forward and influenced today's success path?
Well, absolutely. I think any child is very much influenced by his family. And for me, I come from very, very humble background. My mother was a housekeeper and my father was a government employee. In those days was not too big salaries. So we really had to live with our limited means within the family. And so much to say that, we were allocated a monthly budget for the pocket to spend, and there was a very little budget that we really had to manage our resources within it. And if you run out of your budget in 20 days, you have to figure out how to survive next 10 days for your coffee and refreshments. So, I would usually run out of the money and I had to borrow money from my siblings.
Yeah.
But that was also learning that really makes you realize the value of resources and to manage yourself within your limits. I think these are the value I really strongly built in right from the childhood. And this is very much a strong influence of my parents who actually inculcated. They didn't shelter us, or they didn't even overfed us. They really wanted us to be independent, and that I think helped a lot.
Yeah, absolutely. I totally agree. Those early value systems which we get from the parents, they help a lot. Even control on the money, that's a huge sense of that valuing money. The value you have to put hard work to earn money, and I totally agree with you. Now, I know you were doing a great job, and you're having a great job and career journey in India, Delhi. When in early 1990s, you
Yeah.
decided to take a major decision of moving to Singapore, and you undertook MBA, and even in fact you had some challenges in that journey too, but you ended up receiving a gold medal. Why don't you talk a little bit about that journey?
Yeah, sure. I mean, my career in India was a brief. After graduating, I worked about a year or so, but I was always eager to venture into new waters and test out, and always loved traveling. So, opportunity came in Malaysia to be working with a multiply physically challenged children setup, and I took that opportunity to really explore something different, and that was nice. uh, Beginning of my career out of India, and but we had very limited resources, and we were full of energies and ideas to do a lot of things. And slowly, I found I am not able to meet my needs in that environment, and we got opportunity to come to Singapore. So I took that opportunity and moved into Singapore. So I worked in a clinical area for about 8 years. Again, I worked with a physically challenged children for 2 years, and a leading private hospital in Singapore, uh, doing a lot of clinical physiotherapy work. But while I was going through it, I felt that there's a limitation of career growth that I'm aspiring myself to do, and I need to do more than what I'm doing. And I think I need to have a different grounds to grow myself. And I started preparing for it because I wanted to see what else can be done. Uh, and I thought that something in business, although I had not formally ever studied business, I thought it will be something interesting to look into it. So before I venture into business, I thought I need to get some basic tools and techniques of business understanding. And I joined a program in Singapore. It's called Graduate Diploma in Business Administration. It's a one-year program that actually gives you a quite good overview what business is all about. So it's on a surface will tell you what is, marketing, sales, financial management, human resource, information system in a broad perspective. Doing that actually created my interest further to study more in depth. And I thought I found it interesting. I should pursue it. And I took a part-time MBA program with Henry Management College, UK, which was running it in conjunction with Singapore Institute of Management. And that was a part-time distance learning program. And I had to work from from morning 8 to 5 p.m. And then we had to have classes from 7 to 10 p.m. in the night. And I was a father as well that time, so it was a bit challenging and stretching, but it was interesting. So I took the challenge, and it was 3 years of coursework and 6 months of dissertation work. So I spent 3.5 years studying this program, and finally acquiring the MBA degree. Yeah. So
And
that
that
that's
too with a gold medal.
well, that was probably one of the very, very pleasant surprise, because I never expected to be getting gold award for the overall performance in the graduating batch, which was almost 60 people. And most of my colleagues were rooted into the businesses. They were managers and directors. This is a mature program. And I had no experience about business. I was, while studying MBA, I was actually doing clinical, which was totally unrelated. So my theoretical education was very different what I was practically doing every day. So
Right.
when I got that announcement that I'm the gold award winner for overall performance, that was probably the biggest surprise I ever received in my life.
Yep, absolutely. But I'm sure you paid the price for that. Nothing, success doesn't come cheap, and I'm sure you're going to discuss that in the success journey too. Now, moving from here, what prioritization and focus in the same context and self-discipline plays a huge role in somebody's success. And you would agree with that. So in what way you self-discipline, prioritization, and focus really impacted your success journey so far?
I think, needless to say, there's no reason not to believe that you need extreme self-discipline if you want to accomplish, because you have to set your goals, you have to set your targets, you have to set your timeline. That's very important. And I think I have been fortunate to be able to do it quite successfully. uh, you know yes, you're perfectly right. Priorities are very important. You have 10 tasks in front of you, but you need to really pick up what is the top priority you have to do, filter that out and do it in right sequence. And that's very, very important. Multitasking is something that I have always indulged myself. And I will
Okay.
share with you that there's no reason anybody can be an entrepreneur if they are not indulging into multitasking. So I was fortunate to be able to do that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Awesome. That's great. Now, again, on the same premise, every single person who is successful is bestowed with a couple of strengths, but in certain areas of life, they have to grow and improve and upgrade themselves. So, what were the key strengths you had with you from the beginning? But what are the areas in your life you had to grow and improve and put work upon to be able to accomplish your goals?
Yeah. Well, I'm a firm believer in SWOT. Absolutely. I'm
Mm-hmm.
a believer in SWOT. You got to do your own strength, weakness analysis. You got to look at your opportunities in environment and overcome the threats.
Right.
For my strength, I think, well, it's difficult to look at your own strength and your own weaknesses. So actually, before talking to you, I was asking my wife, what is my strength and weakness? Because she knows the best.
Yeah.
So she said, oh, well, as far as my strength is her.
Okay. Cool. That's
And for
great.
my weaknesses, she said she can write a book.
And that is where she compliments you, right?
Yeah. So, but I think everybody has a lot of strengths and weaknesses. But I think as I already said, my biggest strength is my parallel processing.
Mm-hmm.
Be able to do several uh, tasks at the same time. I have been, even today, actually, if you look, I'm doing clinicals, I'm doing teaching, I'm managing a business. you know there's several aspects. Only in work front I'm able to do them at same time, and doing it in not just one country. Now we are expanding into region,
Right.
so to manage different geographical territories, different cultures, different environment is a big
It's not
task
easy.
that requires you a lot of multitasking to happen, to keep tab on all the aspects. So I think, I would say that's probably is my biggest strength so far. Um, in terms of my weakness, I think impatience. I
Okay.
think I'm a little impatient, and I think it's getting better. It is definitely getting better now. As you age, when you're young, you're very, very impatient, and you want things. And when you're taking things in your control, you want things to happen in perfect manner, and you get agitated if they're not happening in the right frame. And but as you mature, you tend to take things more easily. You mature yourself, you give yourself time to absorb, and you give others also some time,
There you
because
go.
you really learn to understand everybody is different. Everybody is not you. Unfortunately, we always have tendency to think everybody is like us,
Yep.
but that is not the reality, and it takes a time to adjust and to get used to, yes, everybody is not you. Then they have their own strength and weakness. You look at their own strength and weakness, you try to adjust with that as well. So that has really come over a period of time, and I think I've developed tremendously great amount of patience, which my colleagues also comment, and
Mhm.
that's been big change.
Okay, that's awesome. And connecting from here, as you would agree that you moved from Delhi to Singapore,
Yeah.
and then you established these company operations in 4 different countries: Singapore, Malaysia, Philippines, and Vietnam. And I'm sure it required a lot of change by way of many ideas of work. For example, your behavioral change, as you said, patience, but there could be other changes. So what was the biggest change you had to implement apart from the patience to make things happen for you?
uh, I mean, change is something. I am a firm believer on change. Change, I always say that only thing constant is change.
Yes, you're right.
I really strongly believe in that. So whether it is your business direction, whether it is your strategy, whether it is your personal behavior, whether it's an interrelationship, all these are dynamics which are constantly changing around you. And we have been doing that. We have been working on, for example, one product portfolio, and suddenly you see the shift in demand that is happening. So you have to move your portfolio to meet the demand.
Right.
So these strategic changes are always happening. Environmental changes which are happening in environment, in business running operation environment, business requirement also requires you to change constantly. So I mean, we can talk a lot about it, but to summarize, I would say, yeah, absolutely, I firmly believe and always advocate to my team that yes, be open to change. This is something that you're not going to avoid.
Absolutely.